Hello, Second Galaxy recently came out for the mobile platform, and I've been enjoying it a pretty good amount. I've been playing it semi-casually, and I've put a few bucks into it, but nothing too major. And I wanted to give you my general impression, just kind of how I felt about it from the beginning and over the last few days. I did pre-order it, so I did have it downloaded right as the servers went online, and I've been playing it, not to the extent that I've been playing my other mobile games, but I've been playing it a pretty fair amount, so I feel like I've got a decent impression from approximately 10 hours in the game. One thing to keep in mind is I did play EVE Online, though I only played it for months, not years, enough to kind of understand the basic concepts. And while the EVE Online game didn't grab my attention for a long time, the problems with EVE Online were the extremely manual and complicated and minute details you had to memorize and learn. Whereas this game's a mobile game and it's a lot simplified, and there seems to be a lot of auditable portions of the game, which for me is a big deal because mobile games tend to be something I don't want to sit down on and play for 12 hours straight. Also, if you're not familiar with EVE Online, it was just an MMORPG, and the reason I'm mentioning it is this mobile game is heavily influenced over EVE Online, so it's basically a direct copycat in mobile form, simplified a bit. Though there's definitely things that this game is completely different on than EVE Online. EVE Online is much more you're actually playing the game when you're not actually playing the game by learning its spreadsheets. And this game's much more like you kind of go, you grind, you build your guy. Okay, now let's talk about the game. This is going to be the most common screen you're going to see. This is the screen that you see when you're inside of a space station, when you're docked. And you can really access the main menu at this portion of the game. You're not out doing action, doing an adventure. You're seeing in the menu, calculating what you want to do. You can see everything here from rankings of other players to see how good they are at pilot rating, how many kills they got before dying. You can see your corporation, which is like a guild or a clan if you happen to be in one. You can go to the marketplace, which is where you can purchase stuff with different stores, with different types of currencies. And obviously that leans itself to where you can, directly put in real life currency if you wish to do the pay to win aspect, etc. The trading post is where you can actually make your own ships in this game. So if you wanted to craft your own weapons or your own ships, or you really wanted to focus on being a manufacturer, you could do that. Then you could go in here and you could sell your stuff to other players within the markets, or you could buy stuff at lower prices at one station, fly to another station and sell it for higher prices. There's things like that, okay? So the game is kind of an open world simulation game, and you really are going to find what niche you want to fill in this universe by deciding what kind of person you're really interested in being. For me, I really like mining. That's what I liked doing when I played EVE Online, for instance. So I've been focusing on trying to find a way to become a miner or build crews, etc., to be a good mining outfit and maybe learn about producing ships later. That way, if I decide to build my own corporation or guild and I invite all you lovely people in with me, maybe I can make ships for you all. So stuff like that. Okay, well, you say that sounds great. You're actually interested in trying to advance your character. How would you do that? So in the bottom left corner, there's this little bar, and that kind of opens up your other main menu, and this is where all the different options are, and it's very overwhelming and complicated looking. But when you start the game, all of these little squares are actually going to be blacked out, and as you progress through the main campaign, what will happen is it will unlock each portion and teach you what each of them do. For instance, the very most important one is probably going to be your research, which is training your own character. So you in and of yourself, you are your main pilot. And in order for your pilot to get better, you have to train him. In order for him to be trained, it takes a real life amount of time. So if I wanted him to become, he's a 4 out of 5 battle cruiser expert. If I wanted him to be a 5 out of 5, I'd have to click upgrade. I would have to then click the upgrade button here using the resources, that it would cost. And then I would have to wait the 3 hours and 51 minutes, or I could use pay to win and click here to reduce it by an hour with the tokens I have, and then by 5 minutes with the other tokens I have, and now it's only down to a minute, and then in 1 minute that will be completed, and now it'll be 5 out of 5, and then I could go to battleships, etc. Now that's if I wanted to learn a ship, but there's also things like weapons, learning your weapons better. There's engineering, which is the most important one. These are the ones I'm working on, which is maxing out how good your guy is at utilizing your ship, meaning your energy available. You can put that to better weapons and stuff, really how good of a pilot he is. And then there's like electronics, which is making all of the, the fire control suppression, propulsion system, directional scanning. There's all these all these aspects of the game. So it's almost like if your mind, it reminds me a little bit of Star Wars Galaxies back in the day before the combat upgrade, where there's huge amounts of variance in what you could really decide to focus your guy on. Now, there is no, if you focus on one, you can't focus on the other. You can max out everything, actually. If you aren't selecting on anything, you can see here it says ship, weapon, engineering, etc. Overall progression, 7%. So you can max your guy out entirely. But you can also just work on like production. If you just want to mass produce ships, you can see I have 5 out of 5 ship production, and I'm trying to work on that a little bit as well. So there is a pretty good there's a pretty good spread in the things you want to do. You know, you can even get better at recruiting. So if you want to increase your corporation or your crew sizes, where you can actually recruit people. So if you go to recruit, and there's all these different people you can recruit here, you know, and these people have different specialties. So if I can recruit like miners, if I want to have people that I can send out to go do missions, which is where you go here and you go to dispatch and you see where it says squad return. So this is like if you're gone for the day, right? You can send out your people you've recruited and they'll go out and do these missions for you. You don't even have to do them, you know, and they'll bring back rewards, things like that. So there's all kinds of things in this game. And right in the beginning, it really gets complicated. It throws it at you. Then there's decryption, which is kind of like loot boxes. You open them and it gives you random stuff. But these loot boxes you get just from like going out and exploring, doing exploring wormhole missions. They give you these rewards. You see, I got all these different rewards from that. And then what I do is I put them in and they decrypt automatically over time. Or, you know, obviously you can pay to have them open, but I just have them do it by themselves. And then the next day you log in, you pick up all your rewards. It does seem that there's a pretty big spread in what is available to us in terms of where you want to get your rewards from. You can get it from producing and selling other players. You can get it from researching, you know, advanced technologies of weapons and then going out and blowing up bigger ships. You know, you can do it from becoming a miner and just recruiting a bunch of people to go mining with you, I suppose. There's a pretty big spread, and I am somewhat still a noob. You know, I'm looking and I'm not all the way through the main campaign. If you go to operations, you can see this is kind of where it teaches you what you can do. You can do your quest, your main plot, etc. And I'm still a noob. You know, I'm on chapter 7 of the main plot, so I can click go here and I can start this and I can pick my ship and undock it, and then it's going to autopilot me to the mission and it's going to start the mission for me. And if I wanted to make sure all the combat's on automatic, and see, these are all other players out doing missions. Everyone's out going their own way, doing their own thing, and I think this is a battle cruiser is what I have here, but you know, I'm still learning, so it's actually been a lot of fun. If you're looking for something that's kind of just a really big jump from what you're probably used to on a mobile game, maybe try out this one. The voice acting is pretty terrible. The plot is whatever. It's just the standard bad people versus good people ship plot. You know, that's whatever. But the simulation of it and what you have available to you and the wideness of the universe is kind of interesting. Now, whether or not this is going to be like a mile wide, inch deep type of game, we'll find out as I get more hours into it. But so far, it's been pretty enjoyable. This is the combat. I have it zoomed out. You can zoom in. You can play manually if you really want to. I have it all on auto. You can just hit the auto button and do it. But you know, I can select who I want to attack. I want to attack this guy here, and I want to give him my super missile, right? And it will go and blow him up. Which is kind of like your alt, and you can only do it manually and blah blah blah. But for the most part, I just have it going through auto, and this is kind of what the combat looks like. You fight other people, you blow them up, you get rewards for your mission, etc. And the graphics aren't too bad. I'm playing on the iPad. It's not lagging or anything, and I'm also mirroring it, and it seems to be all right. So that's kind of a general sense of this is what the missions look like. You go out, you blow something up, you scan something, you get some rewards, you go back, you dock, you finish your mission, you get XP and some bonuses. All right, I finished the mission, made it back to the station. Here's the flight report, shows you your rewards, how you did, all that. New attachment, bang, rewards. The attachments are something I'm still figuring out. You can make your ships better by configuring them. So if you go like your ship hangar and you click on whatever your favorite ship is, I don't know what's my best one. Let's just say this one. And then you go to your weapons. You can actually configure your ship with your own setup. So you can go in and I can change my sniper guns all to something else if I wanted. I can change my ammo. You can do everything. I'm still learning all of this, you know, but it's very similar to EVE Online in the aspect that Everything is almost 100% completely customizable, and you can make your ships, from snipers or missiles or lasers or whatever you really want to specialize in. So that's kind of what I'm still figuring out. Right now, I'm just following the basics of the ships. And here you can like produce your own ship. So I guess this is going to be the first time I'm going to make my own battleship. I'm going to start that. It says blueprint is bound, finished product will be all bound, confirm. Yes, we'll just confirm that. So I guess in 5 hours I will have made my first battleship. So that's kind of cool. I'm still figuring out really how in depth this game is getting, but as I progress through it, it seems that there's more and more in this game that I remember from the EVE Online universe, and that game's been going on for like 10 years. There's a lot in that game, so if they have even a tiny bit of depth scraped and stolen from EVE Online, it's probably going to be a pretty decent game. One thing I will say, some cons, is games like this do heavily lean themselves to being social type of games. Like, they get significantly better when you get groups of people that are dedicated to working together. And for that reason, if you're someone who really likes to be solo, I don't know if this game is going to be as easy as some of the other mobile games, but I could be completely wrong about that. I'm still figuring out how much they edited this game from what they copied it from, basically. And the game that they copied was quite a good game. So I'm going to give it a shot. If you want to give it a shot, I don't have a link or anything, so I'm not sponsored. You're just going to have to dig it up on the Play Store or on iOS, but it's called Second Galaxy. It's been pretty fun. If you do play it, join the Discord and come chat in the Second Galaxy general chat that we have there, so I can know if people are joining, and maybe we'll make a little clan or something together. It'd be fun. Okay, guys, I love you. This is just another first impressions video. I know you guys are probably looking for things to play now that Star Wars Galaxy Heroes seems to be on its way out, and the only game other than Raid Shadow Legends that I can recommend is maybe try out this one. If you want to download Raid, I have the link in the description. Otherwise, try this game out. It's pretty good, I think. I'm going to be playing it for a little while. Okay, guys. Love you. Bye-bye.